Hey guys, Temperistic here, back again for another video, and I'm a dumbass who forgot to talk about the other games that are coming out very soon. Um, yes, I had my paper, you know, but I didn't talk about the games that were crossed out that either already, I talked about a couple games that already come out, but games that are coming out very soon. Very soon. I talked about the games that don't have a release date, but I didn't talk about the games that have a release date. So consider this an extension to the video that I uploaded yesterday, and I'm just going to upload this video tomorrow, which is today for you, and yeah. So this should be kind of a short video. Because we have more games that don't have a release date than games that do have a release date, so let's get started. The first one comes out on March 26th, which is Thursday, the same day that the Xbox partner game thing show is happening at 10 a.m. PST, 1 p.m. EST. And that is the DLC for Life is Strange Double Exposure. I know there's a lot of people that aren't into the episodic games like Until Dawn and the Telltale Walking Dead games, and then you have Wolfenstein, and you have Batman. There's a whole bunch of them. There's one for Borderlands, where it's not really an action-packed game, but your decisions that you make in the game have an outcome on the ending of the game. So I'm a huge fan of Life is Strange. I have been since it came out in, I believe, 2009. And I've played every single one of them. Some are better than others, but with this one, they're coming back with all the characters, or not all the characters, but a lot of the characters that were in the first one, and this DLC brings back more of them. So I'm excited for that, and that will come out Thursday once again. Next, we have Pragmata, which is a highly anticipated game. They have a demo on Steam that I highly recommend you check out. It probably isn't going to take you more than an hour to beat and finish, but it's a very unique, very interesting game where you're this dude who, if you didn't have this robot girl, it probably would feel a lot like Mass Effect. And you have this little girl on your back who kind of helps you defeat enemies. And I played the demo, and you got to pretty much experience the basics of it. From my understanding, we are on the moon, and from the latest gameplay trailer, you are actually going to be able to explore the moon, which is pretty cool. And anyway, so you have different kinds of guns, and you start shooting enemies, and you realize that some enemies have resistance to, whatever gun you're using to shoot them, and that's where the little AI robot girl comes in, and she brings up this, box where, you have these little, it's like a little maze box or whatever, and you have to bring, like, the orb down to this little spot. And once you do that, then the enemy becomes weak, and you can kill them and stuff. So, pretty cool. The boss fight at the end was really cool. And then it's interesting. It's interesting. Haven't really played a game like that where you have someone on your back, and it's like to kill enemies. It's a two-part character, synergistic type of deal. But that comes out on the 16th. It was going to come out on the 23rd of April, but for some reason they're like, hey guys, we're actually going to release the game a week early, so now it is the 16th of April at 9 p.m. PST, midnight EST. So yeah, pretty cool. Next is going to be another DLC, another expansion for Diablo 4, and it is going to be called Lord of Hatred, which is going to be centered around Malfesto. I think is how you pronounce his name. Not Malfisto, Malfesto. And they already released a new class that you can play as, which is Paladin. I'm gonna wait to play Diablo 4 until it gets closer to the release date. I still haven't finished the last DLC, which brought in the I forget what the class is called, but it's a very aggressive class where you can, evade and maneuver around, stuff like that. But I got a little more than a month, so I better get on that. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. I know a lot of people aren't really fans of Diablo, and they would rather play Path of Exile, but you know, to each their own. Next one is coming out May 7th this year, and it is called Mixtape. Now, this is going to be kind of a very niche, even more of a niche game than Life is Strange. I love music from the 70s, the 80s, so that's a big reason why I'm going to be buying this game. This game, from what I can tell, is kind of like Life is Strange, where you make choices and decisions, and it seems like a good game to play when you're high. So yeah, you play as this kid who is hanging out with her friends one last time before they go off to college, and you can do things like TPing houses, skateboarding, other stuff. It just feels like a good chill vibe of a game. It's kind of weird that it says it's coming out May 7th, because I go on the Microsoft Store and it says that it's not available for pre-order yet. But other games have had that happen before, and they've still been available to buy day one. So I guess some developers don't do pre-orders. I'm not sure. Next game is going to be coming out May 12th, and that is going to be called Directive 8020. Sometimes, I'm just browsing the Microsoft Store for games, and I see games that I'm like, ooh, what is that? And I check out the trailer. Basically, this is coming from the people who made Until Dawn and The Quarry, which are kind of horror Life is Strange games, where your choices make a difference on the ending, but at the same time you're being chased by creatures and weird things. And I guess this is supposed to be in space, so maybe this is kind of like what's that Dead Space? It's kind of like a Dead Space choice game with horror creatures. So yeah, that comes out May 12th at 9 a.m. PST, noon EST. It looked really interesting. Next is a game that is near and dear to my heart, and I will buy every single one of these until the day I die, and that is Forza Horizon 6, 9 p.m. on. Now we do have two dates here. We have May 14th if you get the premium edition. If you get the standard edition, you're gonna have to wait 5 days. May 19th. And we are going to be going to a place we've been wanting to go to for a very long time. We've been to Australia, we've been to Mexico, we've been to the UK. We are going to Japan, the heart of racing, street racing to be precise. And yeah, can't wait for that. Cherry blossoms everywhere, and it's going to be awesome. Next one, May 25th of this year at 9 p.m., 007 First Light. I am very skeptical of this game. It kind of just seems like a one-off single-player game that the creators of Hitman are just kind of testing the waters and seeing how well it does. I haven't seen too much marketing from it, which is kind of weird, because 007 is a huge franchise for books, for movies, and my first introduction to 007 video games was obviously GoldenEye, which was awesome. But yeah, I just I don't know, just haven't seen a lot from it. Not too much gameplay, and I just hope it's not another Mind's Eye, which is one of the worst games I've ever played. If you know, you know. Don't buy Mind's Eye. It's garbage. So hopefully First Light is not another Mind's Eye. But it's 007, so I am going to be getting it. I am going to have a little bit of faith here. So that's May 25th, 9 p.m. PST, midnight EST. And then second to last game here we have is going to be Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. And that's May 28th at 9 p.m. PST, midnight EST. Not really too much into Lego games nowadays. I did buy the one of the more recent Star Wars Lego games, which was the Skywalker Legacy, I think it was called. I played a little bit of that. But the reason why I got that one, and the reason why I'm getting this one, is because it's supposed to be a bundle of all of the Dark Knight movies and all the characters. So we're gonna have Joker, Two-Face. We're gonna have Robin. Catwoman. We're gonna have everybody in the game basically, and that's another reason why I bought the Star Wars Lego games, because all the characters are in it. And then also, I think, didn't the Lego Batman movie just come out or something like that? So it looks awesome. The combat system looks really similar to how it is in Arkham Asylum and Arkham Knight, and I forget what the name of the other one is. So it's interesting, you know. And then the last one we have here is going to be um, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and that's going to be June 2nd at 9 p.m. PST, midnight EST. And the reason why I'm talking about Final Fantasy VII is because, yes, it's been on PlayStation for a minute now and PC for a minute now, but they just recently released Final Fantasy VII Remake for Xbox, which is where I play most of my games, and I absolutely loved it. I think it was awesome. I gave it an 8 out of 10 just because I grew up playing Kingdom Hearts before I played Final Fantasy, and in Kingdom Hearts you get more of an opportunity to parry, and you can parry in this game, but not all characters can parry. I mean, you can have the materia parry, but it just didn't feel too smooth and all that. And the way I played was I was just switching between characters. I was switching between Cloud, Barrett, Tifa, Aerith, and just using their abilities and synchronizing their combat fighting abilities and everything. And that's kind of just how I played. There wasn't really one character that I liked using more than the others. But it seemed like a combat system where you weren't really trying to block damage, but you were trying to minimize how much damage you were taking. So if that's the route that they were trying to go, then okay, I get it. But I was playing the game like any other game where you parry and stuff. So I think I probably played it wrong. But I tell you what, the DLC I give a 10 out of 10. It was awesome. I think Yuffie is my favorite character to play as with combat. Being able to throw my weapon and as many times as I want, and especially if I'm not hitting the enemy, is insane. She's awesome with long range attacks, with close range attacks, and yeah, I hope I'm able to play as her in Rebirth, because she was awesome. To be aggressive and not get punished for it, it's amazing. Oh yeah, and also the story. The story kind of felt weird in Final Fantasy VII remake. I know Square Enix kind of likes the cringe, cliche dialogue and stuff, but it felt a little bit more cringy in this game than it did in the Kingdom Hearts games. But yeah, it felt like they were kind of dragging it on, and they could have chopped it up to make it a couple hours less than it was. But overall, I had a lot of fun. Every single boss fight was awesome. There wasn't a boss fight that pissed me off or anything. I thought each one was unique, was fun, was cool to figure out how to beat, and it wasn't like other games where it takes too long to figure out how to do it. It was perfect. Every boss fight was perfect. They just knew what they were doing when they were making them. But that's it. That's all I got. Sorry that I left all these games out in the previous video. But we'll just have this be a separate video coming out tomorrow, which will be today for you guys, and then today is the 25th for you guys. So tomorrow, expect the Life is Strange DLC to come out after the little show that Xbox is going to be having for new games. But that's it. I'm out. I hope you guys have a phenomenal day. Peace.